What is good, everybody? What is good? This video I make with all reluctance because it's going to come off as though I have sour grapes or I'm upset or something along those lines. I am not, and I personally don't care, but it is a curious phenomenon about people calling themselves doctor. So, to any of us who have actually gone through the process, we know the rigors and the struggles of having gone through that process, and we take great offense. Things are falling down behind me. We take great offense to people calling themselves doctors or claiming to be something that they're not. I'm sure everybody does that, right? If I told you I was an MMA fighter, right, and I won some championships and I'm great at this, and you can't find any videotapes of me fighting and all this kind of stuff, then you MMA fighters be like, oh, what are you doing? All right. So I came across this video on YouTube from THPP Network, and this particular video they got 65,000 subs and 87,000 views, and I commented. This is me at the bottom here, Dusty PhD. You guys can go over there and read that if you like. All right. So I want to kind of correct some of the stuff and address the elephant in the room about Dr. Cheyenne. I never knew who she was until I saw her on Cam Newton's show. And then you can see the brother on the right here, who I think is one of the best comedians out here right now. I went to see him not too long ago when he came to the state that I live in. Anybody knows my name, man, you can Google me. I just Google my name so you can figure out who I am and what all that kind of stuff. So, but listen, so Corey Holcomb, I think, kind of roasted this chick in all honesty. And I never thought about, I don't think about credentials. You tell me you're a doctor. I don't think about your credentials. I just think you went through the same process, or similar process that I went through. And again, let me just pause here for station identification and say, I'm making this video because there's a lot of frauds out here who are pretending to be something, pretending to be people who they are not. And I just want to correct that. And I think they're doing a disservice to the field and to the people. And you got to watch who you're following. And listen, people are using that title to get something and to get their name in the door, and when they really don't deserve to be in the door. And I'm going to show that Dr. Bryant probably could still be in the door. She probably could still be in the door. All right. So go over to the video. I'm going to play a simple clip from the video here. I don't like stealing all people's work, but we're going to play a simple, small little clip from this video, and then we'll get into Dr. Bryant's credentials.
Why would you call her a doctor, brother? I'm not saying your platform is fake at all. I'm just saying, when somebody say Dr. Bryant, it irks me. And all this doctor stuff, I mean, come on. Where is the proof that you're a doctor? Can you just do that online? Instead of all of the glamour videos with all the makeup on and everything? Show us you're a doctor and how you became a doctor and how you practice being a doctor. You're just doing internet talk like everybody else, except you wanted to put doctor on your name.
All right, so we saw that video, and listen, I never thought about this. I never thought about her credentials. You tell me you're a doctor. You tell me you have a doctorate. I just take it at face value. I don't go researching. Some people do, and some people have gone to my LinkedIn page and found me. And some people have asked me about my dissertation. I get emails. I'm quite sure people have Googled me. So it's all around. So, listen. So you can actually do your research, but it's a cure. So this got me thinking. I never thought about it. So I watched the video. It got me thinking. Okay, so we're gonna take that down. And we are going to talk about Dr. Bryant's biography. All right, so this is from, let me move myself around here, actually. I'll make this a little bit smaller here. So this is from Dr. Bryant's, this is from her page, Dr. Bryant. Maybe I have to move myself around here. I don't know. All right, so we're going to go to her biography, and we're going to read her biography, right? All right, so Dr. Bryant's mission is to spread her message and expertise on how to lead healthier, happier, balanced, more fulfilling lives. For years, she has shared her wisdom, awareness, mastery, and insight through private practice. These This is what got me thinking. These type of words: private practice, books, lectures, workshops, and assisting individuals with life impairments and challenges. Dr. Bryant embarked on a journey similar to one you are undertaking, insisted by yada, yada, yada. Dr. Bryant's passion for healing and encouraging and empowering others what led her to become a doctor, is what led her to become a doctor of psychology and life coach. This is interesting wording, and all you, I don't even know what the word is. Rhetoricians, is that a word? All you, people who, kind of deal with how people phrase things and all that kind of stuff, right? What led her to become one? Doesn't say she actually has one. Dr. Bryant attended Cal State in Northridge at the age of 17, where she obtained, look at this word, where she obtained a double degree in psychology and Pan-African studies. I don't doubt that at all. During her first 2 years, she was undecided in what field she would career. Organically, she ended up choosing psychology. Still, she wasn't quite sure why. However, she didn't realize what had triggered her interest until she entered the master's program at the University of Phoenix. She was about halfway through the master's program, and boom, it hit her. She had a lot of healing to do. Dr. Bryant's desire for self-fulfillment, healing, peace, and balance within herself and others drew her to the field of psychology. Being an overachiever that she is, Dr. Bryant decided to pursue a degree in counseling and all that. So listen, I'm assuming that she finished her master's degree at the University of Phoenix, and then went on to start at the University of Argosy. University of Argosy had undergone some issues, and it is defunct, and so no one can call the school now and request information about her. Most people will, particularly if you have a master's degree and up, will keep or have copies of their transcripts, their own personal transcripts. So what Dr. Bryant can do to shut everyone up, including myself, is just post, here's my transcripts from Argosy University. It's defunct now, but I still have copies of them. And only went defunct in 2019. So I don't know what year she claimed to have graduated. I don't know what year she claimed to have graduated, but it's not here. So that's from her own page, right? So it doesn't, so one word, again, I'm looking at the language that's being used here. One word, she says that she obtained it. I got no doubt that she got a bachelor's or a double degree in psychology and Pan-African studies. I don't dispute, even though the language is kind of murky here, about her master's degree at the University of Phoenix. Okay, so we go over to, this is from canvasrebel.com. Never heard of this, but Googling around looking for stuff. February 26th, this is fairly recent, right? Dr. Cheyenne, thanks for taking the time for your stories with us today. We'd love to hear your story of how you established your own practice. This is important. Now, let me pause here. I'm actually going to give her some grace about this. When you get a degree in psychology, and I know this because I have a degree in psychology, you can't just go in practice. You have to then take some other counseling certification classes, and then you have to pass an exam, and then you have to do complete 3,000 hours or something like that, depending on states, different from state to state, qualifications before you can call yourself a therapist or go into counseling or things along those lines, right? Those are usually social, your degrees are usually social work, psychology, or something similar to that. So she may have gotten her degree from the University of Phoenix and never went through the 3,000 hours or whatever her state required, and then passed an examination in order to get a practice. So therefore, she is a life coach. I actually don't have a problem with that. I mean, this was, if you watch the video that I played, if you watch the entirety from THPP, they talked about, they have a problem with that, or Corey Holcomb also said he had a problem with that, right? I don't have a problem with that, becoming a therapist or choosing to become a life coach, because, you can probably make so much more money. You can work all over the country. You can open it, particularly internet age. You can have all that kind of stuff, right? I have a life coach certificate, and I just got my relationship coach certificate. So, and I am considering, I was considering going back to school, getting the certificate, which would take me about 10 months to get 10 months to a year to get a certificate. And that way I can then start doing the 3,000 hours and then all that. But by the time I finish that, I'll be 55. By the time I finish all this type of stuff and do 3,000 hours or whatever it is from the state that I live in, I'll be an old man. I'll be like 55 years old. Do I want to start practicing then? I don't know. Or I can just call myself a life coach and get the same stuff. All right. So here's what she did. I started practicing over 10 years ago. Prior to starting my practice, again, life coaching practice, I observed other therapists and coaches by watching YouTube videos, reading books and articles, investing in seminars, conferences, and workshops. What? Now, I gave her some grace, but this article right here tells you that she was never a practicing therapist. That first sentence right there about how she watched YouTube videos, reading books and articles. I intentionally watch the experts I want to teach like, show up like, and live the quality of life they live. It's always been important to me. I observe the folks that I admire, those with my decision-making skills I respect, and those who breed the results I desire. The biggest mistakes people make are not investing in their personal professional development, yada, yada, yada. So it goes on with this, talking about caseloads. Next, I had to find an affordable office space. Decided my monthly income, client base load, caseload goals, all this kind of stuff, right? This is how she got started. And some pics here. Listen, she's obviously marketing and advising to her to her beauty, right? Sharing your insights. Okay. As always, we appreciate you sharing your insights. We've got a few more questions, but before we can you take a minute to introduce yourself and read us some of your background? Welcome, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. And this is almost taken almost verbatim from the other thing that we read from her biography from her own page. Psychology expert, renowned life coach, teen mom coach, and co-producer of MTV's nominated Best Unscripted Reality Show, ranked #1, yada, yada, yada. Dr. Bryant Institute, Dr. Bryant Foundation. Listen, she's doing some work. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Dr. Bryant's mission to spread her message, yada, yada, yada. Passion for healing, encouraging, empowering to become a life coach. To become a doctor is what again, here's the verbiage here, led her to become a doctor of philosophy, psychology, and life coach. It's not convincing language. It may lead me to do it, doesn't mean I completed it. Remember the other word that she wrote or allowed to be written in her bio is that she obtained it. Here it is again. Dr. Bryant attended Cal State University in Northridge, age 17. She's proud of that. She went there, at a young age, got 2 degrees. What did she do? She obtained it, right? She's undecided, same kind of verbiage, right? And she didn't realize what she wanted. She entered the master's program. And then being overcheated, she decided to pursue her doctorate of counseling and all that kind of stuff. None of this says that she actually finished it. Okay, so as we scroll down here a little bit here, so you can see there's more murky language in here. If I could go back in time, same article, if you could go back in time, do you think you would have chosen a different profession or specialty? If I could go back, I would choose the same profession, help others to get a place, peace, mental health, and build a great quality of life is my passion and purpose. As a young girl, I found myself organically coaching, guiding, and helping others process their pain and trauma. The only difference is now I have 4 credentials: education, experience, and I'm a doctor. She doesn't say she has 4 degrees, because she would have had two bachelors, the master's degree, which I think that she has, and the 4th one would be the doctorate. 4 degrees, not credentials. It's a different word, because you can get a life coach certificate. I have one. It's that light blue thing. It's that light blue and white thing behind me, over the Godzilla thing there. It's a life coach certificate. It's a credential. It's not a degree. It's not a degree. I have 4 degrees. I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's, master's, and a doctorate. I have 4 degrees. Degrees. She doesn't say that. Okay, so here again is from her I think this is the same website, right? Yeah, this is the same website. This is the homepage for more or less. Life coach. This is just raises more suspicion with me. Dr. Bryant is a 10+ year seasoned renowned life coach with a master's degree in marriage, marriage, family, and child therapy. Dr. Bryant provides life coaching sessions in her office, telephonically, via Skype, FaceTime, or she'll travel with you, whatever it takes for her clients to receive the guidance and help. She's what you need. That's what she delivers. Why not mention you have with a doctorate degree? And the truth of the matter is that, you know, what I already told you, even with a master's degree in marriage and family and all that counseling therapy, she's qualified. She's definitely qualified to do what she's doing. This isn't about that. It's about misrepresenting her credentials. And with that master's degree, she can, depending on the state, I'm sure whatever state she comes from, take the 3,000 hours or whatever, 3,000, 5,000 hours, 4,000 hours, whatever their state requires in a test, and then open up her own practice. Therapeutic practice, counseling, state licensed, state certified, etc. But this language right here along with the other language, just makes me suspicious. I'm not saying she's not qualified to be a life coach. I'm not saying she doesn't have in her credentials, again, right here, credentials, degree right here with a whatever is sufficient. But why, you know, this language right here, she decided to pursue it. Okay, did you pursue it? Did you start? Are you in ABD status, all but dissertation status? Did you not finish? Our ghost is closed now, so again, we can't ask them. All right, I think I've proven this enough. I have doubts about her. So the reason that I've done this is because I want you all to be very cautious and careful about who you're getting linked up with, and make sure that they have the credentials that you think and that they say that they're having. If they have them, they know to be able to produce them. And listen, she's qualified to be a life coach. She's qualified. She's a smart lady. She knows what she's talking about. I think she kind of rambles a lot. She her and Kamala kind of had this word salad thing going on a lot of times. You know, they can probably sit down and just, you know, chop it up literally. But I think that, you know, she's definitely a smart lady. She's obviously an overachiever and doing what she got to do. I take nothing away from the list of achievements that we can see that she's done, you know, Woman of the Year and all this, you know, running stuff and all these accomplishments. This is hefty right here. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Hefty. I'm just saying. She's done all that. But the question I would have is, without these three characters right here, these DR and period, would she be able to do everything that we see here if she didn't comport herself with that degree? And listen, it takes nothing to shut me up. It takes nothing. Here are my transcripts. Here they are. Here's my diploma. Considering the gender war that we are currently find ourselves embroiled in with everything that's going on between men and women and all that, I don't want to make it seem like I'm somebody who's just picking on a poor woman. So the top image is, I want to remind you, the top image is an image of Dr. Umar Johnson when he went on the Roland Martin News One show. What was that called? Whatever that show was called at the time. It's now off, and Roland Martin's doing his own thing. And you can see, well, if you watch the video, Roland Martin's questioning Umar about his credentials because he came off as that's a quite different type of doctorate, a quite different type of doctorate. And so the brother at the bottom here, somebody I listened to on Clubhouse. He's a smart dude, you know. Seems to be very well read and all that. So I'm listening to him today. And again, this is all sparking this, right? I'm listening to him today, and then he says, you know, he's following him on TikTok because he's going to do a live show on TikTok, right? So then I go down here, right? He calls himself Dr. Julius or Julian on the show, And so so I'm like, all right, he's got some stuff to say. I want to go listen to him. This brother, uh, is saying it's a nickname and not a real doctor. You can see under ATL, nickname, not a real doctor. I was listening to a podcast one time. This is years ago, man, maybe 10, 12 years ago. Listen to a podcast, and this lady was calling herself Dr. Bev. And so she was a regular routine contributor to this show that I was listening to. And one day she's like, oh, and then one day she said, I only have a master's degree. I'm not a real doctor. And the host was like taken aback and never had her on the show again because she had comported herself as a doctor. So Umar had to prove himself. This brother up here is calling himself doctor. And listen, I think he's a smart dude. I think he's a smart dude. But my point is, if you only, I don't want to say only, but if you have a master's degree, just go with that. You're still, in my book, you're still well qualified. And sometimes they say people with doctorates are overqualified. So I don't know why people are doing this to themselves. I don't know why people are doing this to themselves. So just let me try to make it fair here. Talk about the men and the women. So Umar had to prove himself. This brother put up here on his own page. I wasn't gonna go look this dude up. I just wanted to follow him. I want to go over and see what he's going to say on the live because I follow him on Clubhouse. I want to see what he's going to say on his TikTok that he said he's going to do later on today. And lo and behold, he's not a real doctor. It's got me thinking again about Dr. Cheyenne and the video that I watched that video that I showed you a few days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, maybe 1 or 2 days ago. Who what's going on here? So I just want to drop this. All right, so let me just finish this off here by saying I only made this video because I want to encourage you all to number one, to be the best version of yourselves, obviously. Number two is to just watch who you're following. I mean, if you got to do your due diligence, and sometimes people have no credentials. Listen, there are people out there with no credentials, no certificates, and they have something great to say. And sometimes people out there are pretending to be something that they're not. And that's what I have an issue with. If you got no credentials, I don't like saying only, you have a high school diploma, you have a certificate in a certain discipline. It's house decoration. There's house decoration certifications and stuff, right? Talk about that. I don't have any smoke with that. I don't think I'm better than anybody else because of my degrees and stuff. Just be who you say you are, and just do that, and just portray yourself as who you are. If you have a high school diploma, an associate's, bachelor's, master's, just be that. But obviously, people want to. They think that there's a certain level of expertise, and that. Listen, not gonna lie. That doctorate and people calling you doctor get you through the door. It does. Also, let me just say this. People think that you have to be a medical doctor or a doctor of dentistry or a veterinary doctor to be called doctor. That's not true. If you're not aware of that, anybody with a educational level of doctorate, which simply means you have the highest level of education in any field. Like you could be a doctor of social work, a doctor of psychology, a doctor of ministry, D-Min and D-Psych and DSW, a doctor of business administration, a DBA, an educational doctorate at EDD. Those are all doctorate highest levels of what they are. So any of those persons, and there's a couple more I'm probably forgetting, if they have those type of things, of titles or doctorates, they are a doctor. DSW is a doctor. A doctor of social work is a doctor. A doctor of ministry is a doctor. Doctor of psychology is a doctor. I have a PhD. That's everybody. And the only reason I got a PhD is because everybody knows what they are. Right? I didn't know there was a DBA. I had no idea there was a DBA. I didn't know there was a doctor of business administration. I didn't know what that was. All right. So, but everybody knows what a PhD is. That's why I got one. So I could have either gotten an EDD or a DBA, and I'm like, nobody knows what that is. I'm going for a PhD. So, but if you have a master's degree, you are well qualified to be an expert and to talk about. You have mastered a subject. You're well qualified to talk about it, to get on YouTube, to testify before Congress, to start a business, to become a life coach. You are well qualified. So why these people are portraying themselves to be something that they're not, I don't know. It's confusing to me. So But so you as the consumer, this is about you, the consumer, just watch who you're taking information from and advice from. Make sure that they actually have the credentials, degrees, and qualifications, the credentials, the degrees, and the qualifications that they say they have, and some experience behind them, right? So if you want to talk to me about law enforcement, I got 24 years of experience and the education. So, you know, it is what it is. So I just doubt, for the last time, I doubt that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is an actual real doctor who has a degree and a diploma. I doubt that. She can shut me up. She can shut Corey Holcomb up. She can shut everybody else up, just providing the transcripts. A diploma means nothing. You can get that printed anywhere. It's the transcripts and embossed transcripts that really mean something, you know. So, all right. Take care. Much love and peace. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions.